Okay, good morning, good morning. Right, good morning. Remember I told you guys, can you hear me? Good morning, Mr. Fredericks. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes, okay. Remember I told you guys I had this binder that I flipped through all the time, that back in the day when I was so look who's on the front. This I had this you know, you can get this online now anywhere. You can just go on the internet and get it. But back in the day, this was in the 90s. I had this, I was at the Venetian. Was it the Venetian? Maybe early 2000. Early 2000. I was at the Venetian Hotel and I had this made that I was on the cover of Success magazine. So you can get those, you can get this thing done online now anywhere. I mean, y'all just go out and Google it and probably create a picture and put you in there. But this was my binder, Success magazine, Achiever of the Year, Tony Fleming. And so inside that, I had everything I looked at all the time. I had, you know, Rod Report was popular then at that time. I guess Rod Report's still popular. And so I had everything in here, you know, like the furniture, all this stuff was custom too. I had the picture of the home. Remember I told you the foyer? I mean, I just used to flip through this all the time. This stuff is still, you can't even tell that this stuff was from, you know, 2000 because it's custom and it's, you know, contemporary look. So, but this is what I used to, you know, flip through. I kept it on my desk. And just for my nosy relatives, when they came over, it went under the desk. As soon as they left, back up here, and I'm doing this. But it was funny, they saw this because I had a lot of custom stuff that was made. So that's my binder. This is funny too. Now this was really old. I had this made too. Another one, Success magazine. Let's look at that. Then I had my Millionaires Club. Was that? I don't say billionaire. That's Millionaires Club. Had me in there. Just before I had any money. Well, I was making some money then. But this is on my desk there. So the light's too bright. Okay. So game plan. I usually do a 6-point game plan. I'm gonna do 5 points today. Because I'm gonna save one of those points that we could do, you know, maybe do it this evening or tomorrow or something. I just want to do that one separate. But on your game plan, you want to write down, put it in a you know, notebook or something like this, whatever you want to, you know, put it in so you can have it. The first point, and everybody knows the first point. Well, you should know the first point. You should know why you're doing what you're doing. Because the first point is your why in the game plan. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why have you decided to do what you're doing? You know, you hear the thing, your why should make you cry and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of people never really come up with a genuine why, a real why that has that burning on the inside of you. My why started in 1995, I think. My real why. You know, I actually started doing business for tax breaks, you know, because if you remember, I said earlier, I was like Saul. I didn't really believe in any kind of home-based business, and I didn't believe, you know, especially network marketing. But there was a lady who told me I needed to have a business, and mainly, you know, for tax breaks. You didn't really say it like that, but that was the thing. She said that you need to have some write-offs. She said you can have all the kids you want and the biggest house you want. It's not going to be enough write-offs. You need a home-based business. And so, you know, I found out that network marketing was a home-based business, even though I was criticizing and attacking it like Saul did the Christians until he got on that road to Damascus and became Paul. But I started just for tax breaks. I wanted to, you know, have some write-offs, and it just made sense to do it that way. When I found out that you can have those particular write-offs, so that was my why initially. But I feel like that wasn't it didn't burn. It wasn't a burning desire inside of me. It wasn't something I believe that gave me that fight to get up every morning to go for it. But what happened was my father passed, and he had a stroke and an aneurysm almost at the same time, like a day or two later. And he was in the hospital. And so I was going to see him. You know, he eventually passed like 3 days later. But when I first got there, I could tell that he felt like, you know, he couldn't move. He couldn't do anything. I hate that I didn't realize that when you paralyzed like that, almost in a coma, that they can really hear you. The doctor didn't tell me that. And so some of the stuff I was saying around him, I probably shouldn't say it, but he mentioned to me right before he kind of went into this, you know, coma, like that. I think he was ready to go, I guess. I think. And he was young too, you know, like 59. At that time, I didn't realize how young that was. But you know how you get older, you realize that's young. And but I think he was ready ready to go, because he had gotten out of his health had gotten bad. He was a school teacher for 30 years, and that was his life. My mother was a school teacher. And when he retired, which I think that word, retirement, I don't know. He had nothing planned. So he was at home for about 8-9 months. Health got bad. And, you know, when you've been doing something for 30 years and then you just, you know, you had nothing, I don't think you should ever stop doing anything. In my opinion, I think you should always be doing something. So, but I think he's ready to go. So, but he said to me that, you know, I need you to help take care of your mother, because she was a retired school teacher also, and she was living off of 50%. That it was hard to live 100% off of. Even if she was just getting 100% of her money, that was hard to live off of. Now she was living off 50%. So, you know, he said to me, I need you to take care of your mother. So that became my why. You know, at that time I was working at AT&T. you know, if I can remember, I know I was there, you know. But then I realized too, after I got that home-based business, I mean, for tax breaks, and I started seeing other people making money. I remember talking to this dentist because I didn't believe people made money doing that. And I remember meeting this dentist who was actually in Birmingham, Alabama. I went to one of his meetings he had at a hotel. And what the crazy thing was, they wouldn't let me in the meeting because I wasn't on his team. They had this list of names at the door, which was crazy. And I said to myself, if that ever happens, I mean, no, if I ever become, after I talked to the dentist, I said, if I ever become successful, that I would never do that, you know, because the person was not, I wouldn't let them, you know. So I sat out in the lobby. I still remember this. It was at the Galleria out in Hoover. And can't think of it. That hotel has changed now, but I sat in the lobby and waited on them to finish. It was all day. I kind of went in the mall, came back, and I sat out there and I caught that dentist leaving. He was leaving the hotel and I caught him in the lobby. And, you know, I said, can I ask him a few questions, which was cool. And I told him they wouldn't let me in. And he said that was just their team and blah, blah, blah. So I asked him, I said, you really making money doing this? You know, this thing y'all doing? And he said, yeah. And he sat down with me and showed me that he was really doing it. You know, it blew me away that he was doing it. So it gave me confidence, which, you know, I don't think you have to see somebody's money to get confidence, you know, anymore. At that time, you might not have had to see it then. I did, because I just thought nobody made money doing that kind of stuff. So, man, this was like 96, 97, something like that, in the 1900s. And I was doing well. I mean, I was doing well at AT&T. I mean, well as you could do in corporate America, but I was, top sales. I was doing well. Winning all the contests. I think I talked about this too. How I used to get up and give the technicians, I used to buy them breakfast early morning. They would give me all the leads and stuff like that. So, but when he said that, and then, with my father passing, I said, let me see if this stuff really worked. And I kind of gave it a shot, and it started working for me. And eventually, within 6 or 8 months, I left AT&T. I didn't plan on leaving AT&T. I really didn't plan on, because I was a sales guy. I was in the field most of the time. I wasn't even in the office. And the office was a sub office. So the main office was in New Orleans, but the sub office was in Montgomery, Alabama. So it was no supervisors there. So, I could have just still been there. And so eventually I left and I was doing it full time. And my goal was to, again, that was my why. It became my why. And I believe that it doesn't have to be, but I think anytime you got a why kind of outside of you, and it's like it's for your kids, or is it for somebody else, and I don't say this 100%. I just feel like a lot of times we do things that's not for some, we'll do stuff for somebody else more than we do for ourselves. And which is crazy, which shouldn't be that way, but I see that a lot. So I believe that my why really got intense when I started saying, and looking at it and doing it for my mother. Because this is the thing, I didn't want my mother to call me and I didn't have money for her. That was one thing. Second thing, I wanted to be there if she called me and I needed to go see her. Because at that time, then I moved to Atlanta. So I was in Atlanta, which was 2 hours away from her. But I didn't want to have to see if I could take off work. Maybe my vacation days were gone or something. So my thing was I needed to make money. So if she called me, I could give her money. If she needed me, I could go there. Those were the two main things, with her. And funny thing about it, she had to be 60 then, I think. So what is it now? No, she was younger than 60 because she's about 60 because she's 88 now, going on 89. That's been almost 29 years ago that I started in this industry. But I do remember this, and she'll tell you this to this day, is nothing that she asked me for 20 some years that I couldn't do. And that was something I contributed to my dad, who told me that became my why. You know, initially my why was just for tax write-offs. I don't think that was a burning desire. But the burning desire was I wanted to make sure that when she called me, and she'll tell you that, you know, she, to this day, she don't need much now at 88, 89. She's been driving up to this point. We got her I can't think, what do you call the person that pays her bills? They've been doing this for years too. Somebody put in the chat, what do you call that? Where, you know, her money goes there, and this attorney and his group of people, they take care of all her bills and stuff. Like, I just kind of had an argument with them the other day. What do you call those people? Come on now, somebody knows. Not moving on until you give me the answer. Is it there's nobody in the chat that can answer that? Oh, I got to share the Gucci gift too. I will. I stayed on this why. I'm gonna be on this why for a minute. This might just be for the why today. POA. What is it? Power attorney. Yeah, but that's not what it's called. It's something else. I forget what it's called. But okay. And they told her the other day that she's been driving up to this point at 88 years old and been getting a new car on a lease every 3 years. They swap out and get a new car. I figured this has been going on for 20 years. I told her, I said, you've been living good. They've been paying your stuff. This has been going on longer than that. And she get a weekly check from them, and she don't have to worry about paying no bills or but they told her the other day that she got to go take this test now, driving test, for her to get this, because her lease is up. Trust? No, it's not trustee. I'm gonna get the name in a minute. So she's upset now because she knows she's not gonna pass that driver's test. She got to go take a physically drive test over at the University of Alabama in Birmingham, and then she got to go pass the test. Now, come on. I already told her that, you know, all the accidents are behind her. They piling up because she driving so slow. These cars behind her. I said, you'll never see all of one behind you. But I don't think she's going to be able to continue because they're going to make her take that test, and she's frustrated about that. So, but all right, so that's my why. That was my burning desire. She'll tell you, man, and she tell me to this day. And like I said, probably the last 2 or 3 years, she don't need much at all. But you know, 25 years ago, it was always, baby, I don't really need no money. You know, but I do need a new roof on the house. Oh, okay. That don't take money. I just need a new roof. Yeah, I don't really need no money, but we couldn't get out of that house for nothing. I don't care. I mean, when I was at my peak and I was just rolling and the money was coming in, I was going to put in, she would not leave that house, and she going to not leave that neighborhood. I mean, the people that grew up around, we all moved in that neighborhood in 69 or something, 1969 or something, bought a house in maybe 70. And everybody was in that. Matter of fact, the neighbor next to us, she's passed. The neighbor on the other side, she's passed. And my mom is probably 3 or 4 people that's still there from that time. But she didn't want it. She was not going to move. You know, she was not going to move. So I just need a new kitchen. You don't have to give me no money. Okay. I got to give them some money though, because if they're going to remodel your kitchen, somebody got to get some money. Maybe I don't have to hand it to you, but I got to hand it to somebody. And I had a deal with my sister. This was my deal with my sister for the longest. You talk to my mother every day, because I couldn't do it. We'll get into an argument, I know. But then I'll take care of the money part. But you handle the conversation with her every day. Because my sister would call and talk to her every day. I couldn't do it. We'll bump heads. I mean, if I talk to her every single day, and I think I'm too much like her. I think my sister was like my dad. So me and her was just, you know, but still, she was my why. And I made sure that everything she wanted when she called me, and if I needed to be there, I would take it. And I'm telling you all, you got to figure out why you're doing what you're doing. And some of you all might be like, well, my mother's gone, or my kids are gone, whatever. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that you need to get up for every day, but it's got to be something inside of you. You know, I don't think too many people have what we call retirement anymore. I don't think the 401k and the pension plan is really enough for people. So it's got to be something, you know, burn desire to say, hey, I need to be able to make some money, you know, because government ain't coming. You know, the cavalry ain't coming to take care like that. Matter of fact, they trying to take away most of the money. So I think you need to come up with some kind of burning desire. And if it's not money, if it's not finances, you said 401k was never meant. Yeah. But that's how people look at it, you know. They thought, you know, they would, you know. So, but it's got to be something that makes you fight every day, that makes you get up every morning, that makes you want to go out here and do what you got to do. You ain't got to go out here. You can just go right to your laptop and do what you got to do. You know, whatever. You don't have to be outside. You know, you don't have to be outside, but you got to figure out something that's going to get your engines running every morning. See, mine was that. I didn't want her to call me and I didn't have anything. I didn't want her to say, I need you to come see me, and I couldn't come. So that was it. That was my fight every morning. So I remember when I really started cranking and I had some guys laugh, you know, these guys were just, you know, that ain't no business you have. And I took their pictures and put it on my vision board because I wanted to find, it was 3 of them. And, you know, I remember when I made my first 6 figures in a year, which was like 98, something like that. I went and found them. And I said, you might not be no business, but look at this. Might not be no business, but look, they became my vision board too. They were right up there with my mama. I had them 3 negative jokers over here, and my mom was right here. And I'm like, I can't wait. One of them was a principal at a night school. So he was the principal over the night school. Guess what? I went by there one night. With my 1099. Oh, I might need to take a night class. Let me go by there and see old principal and see what he's doing over there. And I went by there. I remember I was sitting there, I had my little binder there. I had my 1099 in here. I said, oh, what is this? Oh, how did this happen to be in my binder? said, look at this. Oh man, that was one of the best days of my life. His face was just, I mean, he couldn't been making no more than $19,000 or something, you know. But that, you know, my why again became my mother. What is your why? What's gonna make you get up every day and go for it? What's gonna make you have that burning desire? So, you know, I'm gonna stop with the why today because I was gonna do 5 points. That's just 1 point. We'll talk about the other points, I guess, this evening or in the morning. We'll do it later on today. All right, but yeah, what is your reason? What's gonna get you up every day to go for it? Now, like, again, it could be right now, probably for most. If you look at what's going on in this country, you know, most Americans, don't have any money. So that could be your why. I know how a lot of people say, you know, well, say that. I'll leave that alone. I was gonna go with yeah. I'm not gonna get stoned today, so I'll leave that alone. But you gotta have a reason for you waking up every morning going for it. Because when you get up every morning, you got to go for it, man. You gotta have that plan, what you're gonna do, those, you know, everything that you need to do. And when you have something like that, my mother, if you have something like that, you're gonna figure out a way to do stuff every single day that's going to be going toward those goals and those dreams that you have. Because we talked about that too. So, what's your why? Write it down, figure it out. And then I'm gonna come back a little later today and talk about the other points that we need to have in this game plan. But the game, you know, the first point, the first thing is why. Why? I used to do that until it irritated people. That why question, man, was that it will irritate you if you don't understand or have your real reason why. It will irritate the heck out of you if we go through that. Because I used to do it like 10, 12 times until you get to a point where you really have like a mission statement almost. Because if you were to say to me, well, Tony, my why is to make $1 million a year. So then I'm gonna come back to you and say, well, why? Well, I want to take the $1 million, and I, this is most people here. I want to open up a school in Africa, or I want to open up a school for the homeless. I want to, okay. Then I say, why? Well, I just like helping people because, I had a family member that was homeless and I saw what it did. Okay. Why helping people? And why helping people is, well, then that's when they get mad at me. But I'm like, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. Just keep asking yourself why until you get to the bottom of it. And then you really know why you're doing it. Or you'll change the why. Because, like if you were right here with me and you're going to either change the why or you're going to make that why more locked in. You're going to get more locked in on that why. Or you're going to come up with something else that besides that is going to be something added to it until you really see why you're really doing this. Or you just trying to, show out in front of some people. You want to just keep up with the Joneses or whatever. But it has to be something more than that. It has to be something more than that. And you need to ask yourself that. why yourself until you get to the why. Why? Well, why that? Well, why? Well, why that? Well, why? Why that? Man, you just, nope. Well, if you get irritated, that means that you really, it's something that, like they say, my grandmother had a lot of these sayings, like a hit dog will bark. So you hit that dog, it's gonna start barking because you hitting that leg hurt now. You didn't hit him or something or hit her. Now he or she are barking. Now, oh, I didn't push the button here. Something going on here. You getting really okay. Okay. I remember some of the trainings like I used to do, and I'm gonna wrap it up. This is it. Some of the trainings I used to do, and I remember I would get text messages from some people, and and they were like, "Well, what about?" I was like, That hit dog. See, if you get hit, I'll just keep quiet. I won't tell nobody. You know what I'm saying? Just sit still. Don't. That was the preachers to say in church. If I'm hitting you right now, don't move now. Because if you move, we're gonna know. So just sit there like I ain't in your house. Just sit there. Just sit there like I don't tell nobody. As soon as you get the complaint, that mean that dog been hit. It's barking. All right, that's it, folks. Get a Y. And I'll be back a little later today. Oh yeah, Gucci. Okay, hold on. How do I go back? How do I go back? Am I still here? I'm not gone yet, but I lost the chat. How do I get back to the chat? Okay, right here, I think. All right. Hold on a second. I hadn't figured out what I'm gonna get. I can't get this away. I never used this. This was a gift to me for the success I had in the business. And I've never used it. I've had this maybe 3 years, 4 years at the most. So it's the Gucci box. It's in the Gucci bag. I'm telling you, I've never used this. They call it a messenger, I guess. But this is you can put your laptop in. Everybody like the Gucci thing here, but this thing is brand spanking new. I was out on eBay or whatever. They still selling this thing for $1,300, and it ain't brand new like this. This is brand new. It was $1,800 when the person bought it, but I'm not giving it to you for no 5 people. We got to come up with something else because I'll just let it sit in the box. I'll let it sit in the box and it just rock right there. Like saying even when I pass on, I have it in my will. Do not give this away for no for no 5 referrals. Nope. Do not give it away for that. Now somebody might want to give me some dollars. I might. Hey, they say dollars make sense, don't they? But yeah, this is it right here. We got to figure out how you can earn this. Gucci. Ain't be no 5 referrals though. Bye.